Hey, how you doing, everybody? Souls44 playing Craftoria, and today I'm going to take a look at building a Mekanism pair. I told y'all I was going to do this during a couple videos ago, and I didn't fairly do that. I went in and I started doing the processing system and everything else, and I ran out of power and all kinds of other craziness happened. But look, today that's what we're going to do. Now, I'm not going to build this thing ground up. I'm going to cut it up and I'm going to show you guys the insides so that way you can figure out how to build it yourself. And that's going to be the entire video. I just wanted to make sure that I covered it enough so that you understand how to build it in this version of Minecraft and at least in this mod pack. Because there hasn't been any edits. I haven't changed any of the configs or anything like that. And I built mine the size I built it. You can build yours a lot bigger. Just make sure that you understand it's going to be an odd number build. What I say by that is this is a 5x5 boiler, and this is a 9x9 Mekanism steam turbine. And it's not that complicated, but it does require a constant, like, hey, how is that done? From even like a person that plays all the time. So I'd imagine there are going to be people out there asking. So let's break this thing apart. And I can tell you how it's built from the inside, which is what I hate. I hate about it is like the way it's designed is actually kind of you gotta kind of like you gotta be told. You know what I'm saying? Like if you don't get told, you might not know the layers, and if you don't have the layers exactly right, it will not form properly. So I'm just gonna cut this part out here, and that way you can see the inside. And that's just, it's a short video. I understand it's, people are going to want more probably, but you know what? That's what the video is of the day. There is also a layer missing. I'll tell you that right now. I did not put the condensers back in because I don't want to recycle water. But if you want to recycle water, you're going to need a layer of condensers as well. So here's how it's built. The outside has to be turbine casings. Okay, so the whole thing is nothing but turbine casings all the way around the edges. The top, I believe the top can be structure glass, but I've never built one that way. I've always built it with the turbine casing on the outside. Did I pick that up? Let's hope I did. Let's turn my magnet on. Okay, it is on. Okay, good. So your first thing you're going to want to do is make sure that you got all the parts. You're going to want a valve. You're going to want, I put the bottom and top both solid, okay? So that's the way I look at it. I want the bottom and top to be like a full entire cube cased in. And I like being able to see the steam. Otherwise, I think you don't even have to have structure glass. I think you can do the whole thing with turbine casing. But you're going to need these turbine valves. Now, the turbine valves are both the input and output of the steam and of the fluid. If you're going to get water to come out of it, because you put water in and it condenses back into water, or you put steam in and it condenses back into water, then you can get that also out the side of the turbine valve. This is also the location where you're going to get the power. So if you have power and you want to get that out of the plug like I have, or you have another item that needs power, this is where you're going to get it from, is from the valve. So then you're going to want to make sure that you got turbine rotors, okay? The rotor is connected to this right here. This is called the rotational complex. You only need one rotational complex. I don't think you can build it with any more than that. So I don't know what the point is of even making more than one of those. I unfortunately did put it on my AutoCraft. I don't know why I did that. And the electromagnetic coil, it's a rule of thumb for me to always build the electromagnetic coil all the way to the edge of the structure. I am not 100% sure if that's necessary or not, but it does have to 100% go above the rotational complex. Okay, so it has to go above this layer. Now, around the rotational complex, you'll think of a disperser. Disperser has basically got to touch the steam. Okay, so it's going to disperse the steam through the system. That's how I think about it, is it has to touch the steam. So you got to have the rotational complex in the middle of the dispersers. Now, no, this is not common sense, and I'm sorry, and this is where people get confused, including myself, because this rotational complex should actually be in the middle of the electromagnetic coil. So in your head, in my head especially, that's where I would have put it in the design, but that's not how they want you to build it. Okay. They want you to build it in the layer of the disperser. So that's very key. Now, these rotor blades, they look different in size, but really each one of these is the same part. It comes off. It's just these turbine blades like this. Pretty simple. There's two right there. So it's two per. Okay. So you got 1, 2. I think I got 5. 1, 2, 3. Now, the taller you make it and the bigger you make it, just make sure that it's an odd number and even odd number on both, like both in all directions. Okay. So mine's a 9x9 this way. So it's 9 this way and 9 that way. You could make it really, really tall. I ran out of room a little bit, as you can see. I didn't want it to touch this polished deep slate, but it didn't matter that it was touching these frog lights. So I guess I could have made it a little bit taller if I wanted to insert the condensers in that go in there. And I did make some. I just didn't. I decided not to use. Okay. So there's a saturating condenser, and that I believe is going to go on the layer right up here, and that's going to. You're still. I don't think you have to have this air gap. I think that's where the condensers can go. But I don't build it with that because I don't need the water out. Okay. But this is for a system where you're trying to keep your water cycle going in and around and in and around. I just put a entangle block, and it's going to create an infinite source of water for me. So I'm not going to need to have that recycling. But if you need it, that's a possibility. So that takes care of, or at least in my opinion, that's a pretty good explanation of how this is built. Just remember that this is the layers you got to do it as. Your outside is turbine casing. You don't forget your vents or your valves. And then your pressure dispenser along with your magnetic coil. Make sure that in the middle of your dispensers, the rotational complex, and then you've got your turbine shaft, your rotor here, and then you got your blades. Okay. And just let it fill up itself as far as the amount of power that it creates when you've got enough steam. Now, let me tell you, in this pack, I gotta start by telling you that. In this pack, to get steam, there's like different ways of doing it. Oops. Yeah, that's right. Make sure your vents, okay, your vents have to cover those layers. Technically, I think I could take this layer out because there's that gap in there. But the more vents you have, the more efficient it is at pushing the steam out. It basically helps you vent your steam, and it gives you a little bit more. It's one of the limiting factors on the production. Now, this turbine alone produces millions of RF with no problems. The only thing is to get the steam in here, you've got to provide it with a lot of steam. All right, so then when you're done, it should form. Now, it kept the steam inside that I already had put in it. As long as you don't break, I think, both the valves and or the middle, that rotational complex, as long as you don't break that, you should be good. And then if you right-click on this turbine, you'll see that it has some statistics on here. And then if you go down here, you can see what it's got inside of it right now. It's storing 3 million mega FE, forge energy FE, sorry. You can change that by clicking here. I don't know what J is. Joules, I guess, maybe, I don't know. FE, forge energy, FE, works for me. You can go over here also and look at your statistics, and it tells you what it is that you have its limiting factor. Max production, 3.8 million FE per tick. That's the thing I look at, okay? You've got your coils, your blades. Okay, so if the blades and the vents are your limiting factor, that's a matter of tallness. Okay, so that means like the taller I get, the more it's going to be able to do. And then of course, at some point, it's going to be huge. I don't need it that big right now. If I have to, I can always make it bigger. All right, so when you first turn this thing on and you get steam to go into it, you're going to want to put this on. I'm not going to put it on, I think it's on standby or something. The idle. That's it. If it's on idle, it will fill up, but nothing. Once it gets full, it'll actually inhibit its ability to rotate, and the blades will actually stop turning if it fills full of steam and there's nothing coming out. So if you're not recycling the water, like I'm not recycling the water, that steam blade is going to stop. The steam is going to slow. It's going to slow down, and it's not going to produce energy for you. The same thing, and they don't tell you this, happens if the energy fills. If the energy fills to the top and you're not using it or you're not storing it up, it will also back up and it will also slow down. I found that out in my last playthrough on the All the Mods 10 setup. So I like to leave it on dumping excess. Okay, so once it reaches the top up here, wherever this is, capacity of 25,920,000 millibuckets of steam, and it will stop. It'll start dumping out whatever the max is that it reaches, and then only thing that'll slow it down is that I'm not pulling enough energy from it. Which in that case, I will turn the plug on and change the priority of the input to the system so that it's higher, and this one is actually continuously running. Now, to get steam into this thing, all right, this is not a very big turbine. It's not. I mean, this thing, they can get very massive. I think they got 17 by 17 is the size you can go, or something like that. That's actually really, really big, and I don't need anything that huge, and it doesn't look right. Because I'm going to make a reactor to generate the steam, because you have to heat this thing up. Now, this is a boiler casing, and the boiler is almost exactly the same thing. You have to build it with the exact same kind of concept, right? You want your structural glass or your casing. So you got your boiler casing. You could just put a boiler casing on here if you wanted to. It would work the same. The top and the bottom are solid for me. I'm pretty sure the top can be the structural glass as well, just as long as the edges around it are boiler casing. Okay, and then your top layer is your pressure disperser. Okay, cool. Now, the bottom right there, that's a superheating conductor, superconductor, right? Superheater, super, right. Superheating element. The bigger you make it, the bigger and more steam it can produce. Now, you have to provide it with heat. In this situation, it's not like those over there. It's not like the evaporation blocks, okay? It doesn't require you to place the heaters on a valve like it does on these. In this case, you can run heat alongside this thing or touching it. So if you put a heater, not a heat generator, that's actually a power producer. So let's go heat, resistive heater. I'm going to show you because it's not worth it. I tried it out just to see if putting a resistive heater on here was going to be able to produce enough steam to even get this thing going. Believe me, the resistive heaters take up more energy going in than they will produce out of steam, no matter what your two configurations are. Some packs, it's the other way around. You can produce a ton of steam and get this steam turbine to produce more energy than what you're putting into it, and you can actually get a net profit of energy out. But this one won't. I guarantee you're going to try one. I know you are. So this thing right here is going to generate some heat. It's already got energy in it because I had it in my hand. So it's going to try and produce some energy, but at 344.83, this thing it's only producing 15 millibuckets per tick. Now this boil rate bar that's right here is garbage. Ignore that. They did it wrong. It should be very down at the bottom here. It really isn't. The rate that it boils at should be really far down at that temperature. Like right now, it's not even producing anything, right? So I don't like that at all. I think that is a really bad indicator. Don't even bother. Take a look at this. This is where you're going to want to look at, and that's what's going to tell you your max water and your maximum steam. Your maximum steam for my size. This is a 5x5. A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 5x5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's a 5x5 by, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tall. Now, obviously, I could go taller. I could go a little wider. Again, I want to make it an odd number. It just always makes it easier to find the center of it. But you can build it. I think it can build it up to a different size. There's all kinds of different configurations. So, experiment with the size that you want. Now, you're going to want to make sure you have one boiler valve at least and one output boiler valve. You change that with the configurator. There's like 3 different settings for them. I'm going to have to put another one on here as well because we're also going to be feeding this thing with, see, it says heated coolant. That's going to be heated sodium. So I'm going to be making liquid sodium, not lithium, liquid sodium. I don't know. I can't remember which one of these things produces sodium. Oh, yeah. It's right here. That's got sodium in it, right? So this thing, it separates brine into sodium and something else. I can't remember. Chlorine. All right, so you get chlorine and you get sodium. This sodium right here is going to go into a big reactor. The reactor is going to heat up really, 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 really hot, way hotter than this resistive heater can get, apparently. As far as I can tell. I'm not even going to try. Anyway, it's going to heat it up really hot. You're going to run it through this, and it's going to come out as steam, and then I'm going to have one. Actually, I need 2 more valves. It's going to heat up. The sodium's going to heat up the water. It's going to boil. That extra heat's going to go inside the steam turbine. The turbine's going to give me a ton of extra energy that the reactor doesn't do, because the reactor's meant for making fissile fuel, whatnot. And that's going to give me also cooled sodium out the other side. We'll just recycle that in different ways and whatnot, and we'll be able to use it over again. So I think that's the process. That's why there's all so yeah, heated sodium will go in here, and then out here it'll tell you you're boiling millibuckets per tick. That's really important. That you got your steam that'll output, and then you got your coolant that you'll also have to pull back out and recycle. I think you can run it in a circle. I'm not 100% sure, but I think you can run it from in this back to the reactor and then back into the cool. You know what I'm saying? Like you can cycle it through in a circle. All right. That takes care of what I'm going to do with this process. I hope that was clear. We're not going to cover much more. I'm just going to go ahead and talk about a couple of other things. Yeah. So the energy that is needed to run these, I know that everybody probably, if you're following me, watched me fumble a bunch of energy drop. Now that's my fault because I put in so many of the upgrades, right? I had speed and energy maxed out on a lot of these devices, and that's not necessary to do ore processing, okay? You don't need that kind of energy to run your ores. When I upgraded these things all the way up like that and they're running at the speeds that they're running at, I mean, it's super. I went way too far. Okay, just put it that way. So if you get into this and you're worried you're going to run out of energy too because you're running ore processing through Mekanism, first of all, don't be afraid to do that. Go ahead and give it a shot. It's part of the pack. It's what you're supposed to do. And also, you don't have to run it at full speed. You could run it at a lot slower speed and your energy will be just fine. It won't hurt you. Lastly, before I go, I know this is going to be a true real quick video, is the reactors. I'm not too sure, but I wanted to cover this. This one is generating, it says 261K. This is the exact same reactor with the exact same setup, and it was only generating 88K. So it is an assumption of mine. I have not seen it or chosen to see like the configs for this, but I am assuming that every additional reactor that I make from here on is going to be less in power. I think that was pre-setup. I don't know, but I'm not. There is no other explanation that I can have for this one generating this much and then this one generating this little. Okay, don't get me wrong. 88,000 FE a tick, that will run only when it's necessary, which is almost never. Until I turn on my processing. But the reason why that's disappointing is this right here, this one single gas burner setup. If you noticed, it does 63 70s. You see it jump to 70, sometimes to 80. So this one single gas burner does what that reactor does, and that kind of sucks. So I won't be building another one of those reactors for power. I think what we're going to do is we're going to be relying on that steam turbine to get the other millions of FE or F, whatever you want to call it, back going. This is my ocean sanctuary. I've already decided that I really like using beacons as my elevators for right now. And I'm going to be working on this off the camera just because I don't feel like duking around with the glass and stuff. I got to put in at least one more feral flare there. Maybe that should be enough, I think. One or two, maybe 2 and 2 should give me the deal. And then we're gonna go into working on occultism, so I'm not too worried about power and stuff for a little while. I really like how this is where you can see through this, but I really also think that it's gonna be important to decorate it, make it look nice. So that's it for the video, guys. I didn't want to do anything crazy for this one. I know that you guys are probably uh expecting me to do a very long video because I always do, but this video is just going to be a short, sweet, to the point. Um, that you get it, right? Like, if there's any questions, comments, complaints, or you want me to do something different with Mekanism or some of the other stuff, because I will be working on that as I complete more quests. Which reminds me, I wanted to show you guys my quest log. I actually screwed up again, and I went to go complete some of the quests that are broken, and I accidentally completed all of them, and so I've been undoing them. So don't worry, I'm not going to cheat. I undid the ones I didn't for the completionists. This is what I consider to be completely done, like 100% with the pack. Technically, I guess I could do all these all the way through, but I don't know if I will. I know I can get the Ars Nouveau. That'll be done soon, and the relics. I don't know. I don't know if I'm ever going to find all the relics because there's a few that are missing. Mekanism, I'll be able to complete Mekanism, and same thing goes for irons, like it does for the relics. I might not be able to find all the stuff for irons. I'll look into it. I'll try. Occultism, that's what we're going to work on. I'll see how hard that is to get 100% completed. Yeah, Pneumaticraft could kiss my butt, but at the same time, I'll probably do quite a bit of Pneumaticraft because I do find some of it to be kind of cool looking and fun, but most of it is kind of just annoying. So yeah, the bosses I've had completed, the Monster Mayhem I've had completed, the relics show completed, but it's not. You can see I have the Holy Locket and the Wool Mitten missing still. So when those are done, I will be able to get that one and claim that as being completed. Just Our Things is now completed. Mekanism itself, even though it's green, is not completed. I uncompleted all of them that I didn't do, which is the suit and, of course, the reactor and all the stuff that goes along with the reactors. That includes the fusion and the fission reactor. Okay, and that's really this is just a matter of me putting together the systems and getting it started. Now that I have enough energy, I can start up the fission reactor, and we could even, I could do the modification station, all that stuff right after I get to the fission reactor going. It's no big deal. The ore processing, you guys have watched me do that. This basic chemical tank that said dirty, it gave me credit for, but the clean one, it did not give me credit for, so I cleared that out. So you guys have witnessed that. That is 100% complete, and that's done. I did not complete modern industrialization, even though it shows that I did. I will go in and I'm going to cheat and undo all of this. Okay, that just took me a while to undo all the others that had gotten done. I had completed all the way up through to this layer right here. I have not gotten the well, I have the electrolyzer and I think I have the centrifuge, but I have not gotten any of the overdrives or the chemical or the hull. But yeah, I do have the hull. So everything on this row right here is where I'm going to break at, and everything else is going to be undone. It really is going to be undone. I'm just going to unclick all these blocks, and then just, this is the longest one. It's going to take me a minute to uncheck all those blocks, but it won't, no big deal. like, and I completely undid Pneumatikraft, even though I have some of this done on accident. Like I just picked some of this stuff up. Um, and the reason why I might reconsider doing Pneumatikraft was because I think I could probably run through most of it really quick, maybe even like like 3 videos or so. The issue comes down to like I've never played around with logistic frames or some of these drones. I don't really know anything about those. I'm not really that interested, and I'm definitely not interested in this elevator because that's just a lot of work for nothing. No offense to anybody that really likes that, but I already have had all these minigun ammos. I have them in my inventory. I can when I put them in my hand, it'll give me credit for them anyway. Some of these I've been picking these up out of chests and whatnot. So this is that's just a matter of time. The Ars Nouveau is done except for the tier 2 glyphs and the tier 3 glyphs, which those won't take me long to just do them again. The tier 1 glyphs are done. I just have to go ahead and make all the actual glyphs themselves, even though I have some of them in my book. I think I can make the scrolls for them just so that I can use them for other things. But everything else is done for Ars Nouveau's quest book. Iron spells, again, it's showing green, but it's not 100%. Okay, I've got to undo some of these. Like this lesser spell slot, I didn't do that, and then I got to undo this chunk right here because I haven't made all the armors. Again, that's not super hard. I have all these rings, and I have everything else except for I think there's a book or two I didn't get yet. Yeah, the Necronomicon and the Bloodstaff. I'll have to go back and get that from that boss from Irons. I have the spell books there. Yeah, I basically have all the different spell books except for that one, and I think there was one that you can get that's an upgrade where you unlock it, but I didn't even need it. I don't think it's even in here. Yeah, like I gotta go kill the priest and trade with the priest or something. Can't remember what one it is. Well, I'll work on all of that, and it won't be it's not really all that hard to do. I've gotten all of these, no problem. This one I don't have, so I will undo that one, the Rod of Lightning. May never get that because I don't know where to get it from. I'm gonna have to look it up. So when I do, I'll let you know. And I have to undo this Amethyst Resonance Charm. That's also not something that I've done, but I've done all the rest of these, all of these. Yeah, so this compass will take you to the boss, and then you just kill that boss over and over again, and eventually you'll get that. I have the Frost Ring. I don't have and I have the Ice Staff, so that's actually sitting inside my chamber right now. And of course, I have some of the armors and things too. So yeah, that's actually really not that difficult to do. So that's pretty much done. And of course, occultism we'll be working on, and Theurgy is now complete. I am 100% good. The only thing that I have to do for Theurgy, even though I know it's all clicked off, is to get the Eisnium. Once I get Eisnium, it's over. I'm done. So that's just a matter of me getting through occultism. So I'll probably just leave this completed off. And obviously, I've worked a lot with Theurgy to create a lot of different systems that I don't think a lot of people have done. So that's also up on there. That pretty much gives me everything done. The replication and the transportation, those have been done for a while. The gadgets, I actually cheated in one of the pylon right here and then just threw it in the trash. So that way I got credit for that. That completed my last set for this. The applied energistics will get undone. I did undo a lot of it, but I have not done like the advanced encoder and the pattern encoder. But a lot of this stuff I already have. I don't have the spatial stuff, and I don't have all the megas, right? Like, and I definitely don't have any of the energy. See, here's the mega storages. I have the 1 mega, but I don't have the 4 yet. All I have to do is craft those. There's the bulk storage, the bulk compression, and then there's this radioactive stuff. I haven't done any of that, and I haven't done any of the this item casing. Same thing with the energy casings. I don't know if I want to do those other than just to get the quest complete. I don't really need them. Who knows? Maybe I do. Yeah, you got your different little toys you can make. And then I do have this quantum computer core, but I don't have these in my hand. You have to like craft them, put them in your hand to get the credits, so I'll have to do that. And pattern modifier, I don't even know. It says used for modifying lots of patterns at once. I'm going to check this out because I'm really interested in checking out what that does. That sounds pretty interesting, really. The extended drive, I got two drives, but I don't have the extended drive, the extended charger. Don't have that, and I don't have this one. I do have the canner now, and I have the circuit slicer. Like I said, the circuit slicer was kind of a pain to make. Um, but I mean, once you get past the universal press, it's pretty much a done deal. So that pretty much covers everything, you guys. I know it's a quick video. If you have any questions, you have any other mods or mods that you think that you would like for me to check out that are in here. Yeah, I also have some more of this organized storage. Look at all these drives I'm gonna have to do. Um, and of course, I've got to do these tanks and junk for modern industrialization. Yeah, if there's any mods that you want me to check out, even if it's not in this pack, it's just regular, um, anything from 112 point whatever till now. Just let me know. I'll make a video just for you if you'd like. Be sure to let somebody else know that, hey, maybe they're curious, they got questions, and you can't find it on Reddit. Shoot me a comment. I'll see what I can do for you. So until next time, if you know, I love you. I miss you. If you need anything, hit me up. Take care. Bye bye.